In this video, I'm gonna show you how to be happy, satisfied, turned on, and passionate, even when you're single, not in a relationship. Hey everybody! Welcome to Judee Rallos TV, the place to be where we talk about business, productivity, and going after the life that we aspire. I'm your host, Judee Rallos, the CEO of virtuallasting.com, which is an outsourcing company for virtual assistants in the Philippines. If you want to know more about, what we do here and to always be updated about our content and freebies, please don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel. And while you're at it, please like this video. We're found on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. All right, so today's topic is very out of the box. And although it's a topic that some people probably have already talked about, but I'm going to make sure that I give you a very honest spin to it. And this is a kind of content that I've never truly posted anywhere on social media, because in today's day and age, somehow people believe that being single is a downgrade compared to being married or in a relationship. And I would admit that for many, many years, way before, I had a certain life-changing moment in my life, I've lived with that notion in mind that if I'm single, nobody loves me. That if I'm single, nobody wants me. And that I always had to be validated by being in a relationship by a man. And that's so hard to admit because I held myself with such a high regard. I thought of myself as somebody intelligent, somebody who was independent, a go-getter, successful, but deep inside of me, that wounded young girl was hiding and was desperately wanting to be loved and desperately afraid of being alone. So today, I'm going to be very honest about my journey. And I hope you don't judge me, but if you do, okay. I can't do anything about it. So it all starts with, ever since I was 16, I've never been truly single until, I was always in a relationship from the age of 16 to 30. And it's only been recent, in the past, I think 1.5 years, that I've not been in a relationship. And I have to say that it's the most life-changing event of my life. I say this because when I was younger, even when I had this certain bravado that I'm intelligent, I am a go-getter, as I was mentioning before, but I had a really deep secret, which was I was deathly afraid of being alone. I was afraid that if I wasn't in a relationship, then it means that I was left behind. I made all these, I don't know, statements to myself that the clock is ticking. That if I were not to get married right now, then I would never have kids. But the truth is, I was desperate to be in a place where I felt safe and I felt happy. And I thought that a relationship with a man was something that is truly necessary, if not a requirement, to be happy in life. And up to like around last year, 2019, I thought that until I tried being single. And boy, was I in for a surprise. These days, I do get approached and I do get invitations from men who want to ask me out, or even during this quarantine, wanting to, I don't know, like form corny quarantine like situationships. And knowing that I am 31 years old, some of these men would tell me, don't you want to have kids? Or like, because I no longer had that shall I say appetite for bullshit. But then they would clap back at me and tell me, oh, you're going to end up alone, or oh, with that kind of attitude you won't have kids, and something, as if I'm afraid. But truly, what they don't know is that right now, I'm at the point in my life wherein even if I'm not closed off to having a husband and kids someday, but I'm equally satisfied with the idea that maybe it's not going to happen. And I'm happy, truly happy about where I'm at. And for all the single ladies out there who are feeling like they need a certain relationship to complete them, then I have a few tips that I can share to combat this whole nightmare that you think is being single. Because it's really not, okay? It's not what you think. So number one is figure out what is behind your relationship patterns, especially if you have a turbulent dating history. In my situation, I always were in like turbulent relationships. I was addicted to the highs and lows. I don't know, I had a codependent tendency. I had ugly fears of rejection. And I also had that tendency to somehow care for people even way past their expiry date, you know? And during the last 1.5 years, that's something that I have been confronting myself with. And for me, that's also going to help me if ever in the future I will be in a relationship, because then I won't be clinging on for the wrong reasons. Number two, make peace with these issues with positive self-talk. During that time, whenever I had this like tendency of having these crying fits, missing somebody like crazy, or like being deathly afraid of being truly alone and nobody loving me and needing somebody to validate me, I told myself the words that I craved desperately for somebody to tell me. I told myself, Judee, I love you. My gosh, I feel like crying. Judee, I love you. And no matter what, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you. Because I love you. And God loves you. I told myself those things. I told myself how strong I was. I would even pat myself like this, and I would tell myself how admirable I was, and that I had beautiful dreams of a future that could help a lot of people. That I was way more than just, a romantic relationship. That I had so much to offer in the world. And at first, they may be very difficult to do. But day by day, especially when I started telling myself almost every day, I believed it. And now it's my reality. I truly believe it. Tip number 3, have a feel-good pick-me-up soundtrack of your life. Pretend that you are the epic hero or heroine of your life. And whenever you take a walk or do your errands, chase your goals and your dreams, play that playlist on Spotify, and oh my gosh, you feel like a winner. It's very addictive. Number 4, list down why you're afraid to be alone and debunk them one by one with meditation and affirmations. In a separate video, I will talk about meditations and affirmations, and I'll show you how you can do this as well. But please read up on what you can about these. Number 5 is I weaned myself off from any dating for some time. For somebody who is practically an addict of relationships and love, I advise that you do this because it will help you to be more mindful about why you are with certain relationships in your life. And it could start off about being mindful about your romantic relationships, but later on, you will realize also the kind of friendships, the kind of even like connections that you have with other people. And when you do that, you suddenly have so much awareness and you're able to let go of relationships that do not serve you and that are not for your highest good. Number 6 tip is get to know yourself again. The you who was not dependent on a relationship. Because so many people, I know that a lot of you guys who have a relationship right now, I know that you would deny this, but at a certain degree, we somehow get entangled with our partners so much that their identity also becomes ours. And we somehow get confused. And especially when you're with somebody for so long, you live their reality, somehow the enmeshment is so strong that you think that their bad habits and their toxicity is also yours, when in fact you could just easily walk away and just forget about it and move on. That came out so strong. Sorry. Tip number 7 is give in to the desires of your heart. Those passions that you have yearned to express but never dared to while you were partnered up. I remember in a previous relationship where I was with a very controlling partner that he had a tendency to tell me that my ideas were not valid, or like I was crazy, or like I was nerdy and stuff like that. But you know what? In the past year of being single and of truly not having anybody in my life, I was able to recall all of these passions. And I somehow drowned myself with the activities that somehow spark so much joy in my heart. Nerdy na kung nerdy. I don't care. As long as I'm happy. And it's really amazing because for the past year, I finally was able to launch my YouTube channel. I've been able to drive my business to more than 7 figures. And I have been able to do crazy things that I've never would have imagined if I was in a relationship. Like traveling alone, eating alone, going out alone, and a lot more. Tip number 8 is date yourself. Take yourself out. Or since it's quarantine, order in, give yourself a massage. Book yourself a massage. You don't need anybody's permission to spend your own money and make yourself pretty. You don't need anybody's attention to wear the sexiest lingerie or just be naked by yourself. Nobody is really the master of you, and thereby you can do anything. Another thing that I really enjoyed is just really beautify my home, even if nobody would get to see it, and have the best bed ever, even if nobody gets to lie beside me, apart from my cat. But I love it, I deserve it. Number 9 is fill your schedule with activities that are worthwhile and that nourish your inner self instead of resorting to attention-seeking behavior out of boredom. I know that a lot of single people, myself included before, whenever I get bored, I would whip out my Tinder app and get some instant gratification by getting validated by men. It made me feel happy, or like at least flattered, to be asked out by random people that I didn't really care about, And I found out that you can actually do it. I mean, nothing wrong with going on Tinder. It's totally fine too, but for the right reasons. But you know what? It's way more satisfying to really let loose with the things that matter in your life, most especially your goals, okay? And number 10 is stop with a desperate narrative that singlehood is a death sentence of sorts. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are whole, not somebody who needs to be completed. All right, so these are my tips. I hope that, this helps a soul somewhere. This was life-changing for me. And if you can tell, it's not very easy for me to share it right now because I'm not that vulnerable as a person, but I'm trying. To end this, I'm not saying that I will never be in a relationship again. Only God knows what the future holds. But what I do know is that I'm no longer living in fear of my own lonesome company and desperately clinging on other people for my sense of worth. I fill my own cup, which is really amazing. And when the time comes that the right person does come along, I will be able to practice discernment to never allow what doesn't serve my highest good in my life. And I'll probably with somebody who I truly love, who also truly loves me, respects me, and cherish me because I love, cherish, and respect myself. All right, so if you enjoyed this topic, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And this has been Judee Rallos for Judee Rallos TV. You all have a great day and you take care. Bye.